This is Jeanne Kitchens, Chief Technology Services Officer with Credential Engine. Thank you for watching Publishing a Progression Model, part of the Pathway Builder Guidance and Instructions. We'll talk about this in 3 parts: about progression models, when to use a progression model, instructions for publishing a progression model, and conclude with additional resources. If a progression model will be included with a pathway, it is required that it be published to the Credential Registry prior to starting to build your pathway. Using a progression model within a pathway adds valuable information and context. It enables the alignment of pathway components with specific levels of progression, such as increasing levels of competence, complexity, achievement, or progression over time. However, only use a progression model when every component in a pathway should be aligned to a level, except for the destination component, which always aligns to the destination component column on the board. And you could see here a screenshot from the Pathway Builder where I've added a progression model, and it has 3 levels: entry level, supervisor level, and management level. And when I'm going to build this pathway, every card that I drop on the board is going to be aligned to one of these levels, except for the destination component that I'm going to drop in the destination component column. And that's always going to be only 1 card will drop here. The progression model is particularly helpful for understanding the relationships between components and the levels of progression. When a progression model is included, the related levels are displayed. As I said, just below the header, they will always show here. And as I said, every card will have to be aligned except the destination. If no progression model is used, that's fine. Pathway itself is displayed along with destination rather than the levels in a progression model. When determining if a progression model is needed, consider whether the components of the pathway should align with specific points or levels in the model. For instance, if the progression model represents intervals of 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months of time, each component in that pathway will align with one of these 3 points, again, except for the destination. Other examples could include semesters, quarters, levels of performance, such as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. This alignment provides insights into the progression through components and how it relates to grades, levels, stages, or time. Understanding that progression toward a destination can occur, for example, within 12 months offers valuable information. By utilizing a pre-designed pathway or framework, publishing components to the Credential Registry, analyzing the progression requirements, and planning accordingly, you can effectively build or design pathways using the Pathway Builder tool. This approach ensures that the pathway aligns with the desired progression and offers a clear understanding of the journey and milestones along the way. Progression models offer versatility and reusability, as they can be employed with other components like competencies in a competency framework or collection. Now let's go over how to publish a progression model to the Credential Registry. As I said, if you're going to use a progression model, you will first need to go ahead and publish it before starting your pathway. And you'll begin by logging into the Credential Registry publishing system. And once you do, you will see on the navigation, plus add new, and under plus add new, you will select from the progression models in that drop-down menu. Once you do that, you'll be directed to the competency and skill publishing system where you add your progression models. And the first thing you're going to do is select the organization you're affiliated with. Then from the left menu, select progression models. And after selecting that, from the top menu, select add new or plus new progression model. So you'll be able to create a new progression model. Once you do that, a modal window will open up where you will give your progression model a name There's an asterisk adjacent to it, so we know it's required. You will describe it. And here, and it will automatically fill in with your name as a publisher. It will like fill in some URIs to data in the registry that will be published, that you don't have to change anything here. It will automatically fill in the language of English, and you will need to identify the publication status. And if it is a draft progression model, that's fine. Instead of selecting publish, select draft. And then once you're done, select done. And that modal window will close. It will save the information that you entered at the top of the screen. And no problem if you want to edit this information, if you just move your mouse over it, a edit icon will appear and you can go ahead and edit this information. But then the next thing you're going to do is add a level. So you'll see plus add level, and then you're going to select create new. You're going to create new levels for this progression model. You'll begin by entering the preferred label for the first level or lowest level in the progression model. So start at the lowest level and work your way up. And this should be a logical label that would help people understand what the level means, what it's for. And this is what is going to appear in the pathway builder just below the header per the screenshot that I had just shown you. A definition is not required, but I definitely recommend that you include a definition to help people have context for what the level means that you have entered as a preferred label. And then you're always going to have more than one level in a progression model. You're going to have 2 or more levels. So you're going to save and add another. And as you save, then you're going to see the levels appear just below the description. And you can see that I repeated the process. I saved and added another. I added advanced level, and then I added one more, and that was expert level. And instead of saving and add another, I clicked done. And then once I added my 3 levels, I clicked set precedence by order. And this is really important because the whole point of our progression levels are to have a defined progression. And so you have defined it here. And the reason this is here is because often you might, change your mind or change the order of them, for example. And we want to be able to confirm. So you're going to set precedence by order. Okay. Now that you have set your precedence by order, at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see approve, selected progression model. Go ahead and click that. Credential engine will be notified, and we will publish that progression model typically that business day. There are numerous additional resources available through the Pathway Builder help and through the Credential Engine Pathway Builder tool webpage. This video, all the other videos in the series, as well as the detailed guidance and instructions, are all available there. Thank you again for watching.